Hello everyone, VanguardOfValor here, and welcome back to the town of Xanadu. Now, in the last little while, we've started to upgrade our buildings, although started to upgrade means told people to upgrade, and so far nothing has happened, but we'll see if they change their minds eventually. And build ourselves a lovely boarding house over here, right, to overlook our wonderful cemetery, church, town hall, school, all that good stuff. And we've also started to experiment with farming. We have a lot of stone over in our stockpile as well. We might want to start using that, because we have a whole heck of a lot of it. But the main thing we've been experimenting with is our farms, and they've been doing some very unusual things. Specifically, they haven't been doing anything. We've been getting only one farm actually worked each season, despite the fact that both of them are set to be active, and both of them have workers. So I'm not entirely sure why some of them have done absolutely nothing. Now, in order to attempt to change this, we deleted the 12 by 12 farms we had and added in 10 by 10 farms, and I also buffed up the number of people who can work at each location by 1, so they can each hold 3, which should help deal with having nothing wither on the vine as the seasons change. But overall, I'm just very confused, and we'll see if that changes with the addition of these new farms, or if it's just as odd in the season to come. We're trying to grow wheat and squash, which are hopefully giving us a nice little bolstering to our food stores. If we check in here, do we have any squash? We have 180 squash left, 991 wheat. That's a pretty good haul then. That was a pretty good haul. If we can actually consistently grow wheat, we're going to swap our tavern here over to using wheat instead of berries. Berries are a good go-to unit for now, since we have some of them. We don't really have a consistent supply of wheat yet. Either way, though, things are looking pretty good so far, and we'll see how things go as our population continues to age. We just had a bunch more people die of old age, but a bunch of new children are growing up. And they're educated workers, so they might actually be better than the people they're replacing, surprisingly enough. Now, if we come in here and take a quick look, oh, I can only see food as a general unit. I can't actually see individually what's inside of it, which is interesting. Surprisingly enough, though, our production and our use is almost a perfect match. We're producing just more than we need, which is good to know. Very good to know. I might be able to change things around then. If we add a couple more pieces of production, we can bolster up our population without being in a significant loss state. As it is right now, it looks like we're pretty close to where we can handle. Surprisingly enough, we haven't had any nomads come to our city yet either, despite having a pretty solid infrastructure and a bunch of buildings, but like homes and whatnot. Surprising, but I guess we'll see how it changes as we go forward. 81% of our population is now educated as the old people die off. We get more educated young. Of course, I think this actually counts the children who are too young to go to school yet, so you're probably never going to have 100% education, but you can get a pretty high ratio. It's interesting, though. We have a lot of interesting stats in here. We don't have a whole lot of leather again, as we never seem to. We use that up for clothing pretty quickly. We don't get a huge backlog either. More people are dying of old age, and now... Okay, it looks like we are actually growing both fields this time. I wonder why it wasn't doing that last time. We have a significantly reduced haul by reducing it down to a 10 by 10 instead of a 12 by 12. It's like 40 or something, 48, something like that. Fewer tiles getting actually farmed, but I'm okay with that if we actually farm them all this time. I'll have a whole lot of deaths all of a sudden. Whole lot of deaths all of a sudden, but hopefully our population will be able to handle it. I wonder if there's just a problem with that certain size of farm that we were using, or who knows, really. Either way, it was very strange. And I might start doing triple farms and just alternate what I'm growing in them, like a tic-tac-toe board kind of deal, but we'll have to wait and see. Thankfully, more of our children are growing up to replace the people who die, which is ideally what we're looking to have happen here. And I think just for the heck of it, since we now have 2 farms growing at once, we're going to build... Ooh, nomads have arrived. Well, what do you see? I just mentioned we don't have any nomads, and now we have more nomads. Let's see what we have here as far as nomads. 10 nomads requesting citizenship. We can allow them to become citizens of Xanadu, and as far as I can tell, for the most part, these guys just supply you with extra bodies. It's kind of like migrant waves in Dwarf Fortress, where you just get extra people. As far as I can tell, though, these guys never bring anything with them. I can't tell if they come wearing clothes or bringing tools, but they never seem to bring anything with them. We're going to allow them citizenship and see if that's any different. If we check our trade items here, they didn't bring any seeds or livestock with them, which I kind of expected. They could, I think, bring diseases with them, but thankfully that's not an issue at the moment. We've got a bunch of children as well. These are all of our newcomers, and a bunch of them are children. We got 4 children and 6 laborers. That's pretty good. We need to build them real homes, though, otherwise they're quickly going to get tired of living in our boarding house. So, we'll have to rearrange things to deal with that. But that gives us a nice free population boost. Now, if we do build homes for them, of course, they're going to suddenly be a massive drain on our food stores, as we were previously just at a stable level, and now we have all these new people. That's going to lead to more babbies. But we'll have to wait and see. And surprisingly enough, they still haven't built this. Are you sure it's being upgraded? Because I'm not convinced anything is happening with this at all. Let's just reclaim these houses, because apparently that doesn't do anything. I think in order to experiment with it again, we're going to remove the houses directly and then put new houses in their place. Ooh, come on now. Now there's only 2 people left here in the boarding house because they took up space in these homes. Interesting. Well, we're going to experiment over here then. We're going to put down some stone houses and see how quickly they take, how long they take to build. They take up the same amount of space. Place one there. One there. Let's build another 5 of them just because why not? And we'll see what happens here. I'm interested in seeing if these actually take a long time to build like it seemed, or if we were just getting unlucky, or if the game was somehow glitched out previously. We have a lot of people just added into our infrastructure though, which allows us to put a lot of people in labor jobs, forestry jobs, and whatnot. We'll go up to 9 foresters now, which should increase by 1 in each location. Overall though, we should really speed it up again if we want. That was very unusual. We had almost an entire episode and a half, or, you know, that's episode and a little bit, of these houses having nothing done to them, despite the fact that I raised their priority. So I'm kind of confused as to what they actually did during that time. Our builders sure didn't seem to be accomplishing much. What we need to do, though, right now is actually slow things down again and get more wood coming in, because we got a nice bunch of trees here in close proximity that we can cut down as they've expanded out from this area. So that's an easy way to gain access to more wood. We can just cut all this down. There we go. And we can cut all of these trees down as well. Same kind of growth happening here. They're expanding from nearby forests. And this will give us a lot of wood we can get. And it will regrow again over time. So I'm not too worried about cutting it all down. Now, I think we're also going to come over and deforest over here. And deforest over there. That should give us a lot of trees. And that way we won't be so low on wood all the time. Which should also help us with building more stone homes. Now, if we can get these ones to actually construct, I'm going to start swapping out some of these wooden homes for stone homes, because if we can reduce the amount of firewood we need, that would be really nice, with actually being able to keep our wood stores fairly high, because right now we're burning through firewood at an astonishing rate. If we check our town hall, we can probably get some good statistics on how quickly we actually use it. Where's that information? If we come here to inventory, no, production. Firewood, is that listed here? No, it is not. Oh, there it is, fuel, yes. We used over 1,000 wood as firewood in the last year, which is insane. That's insane. We can increase it up to more time, too. We've used 7,500 wood. That's like twice as much logs as we've used in that same time period, which is madness. So hopefully we'll be able to reduce that a little bit by switching over to stone homes. I'm interested in seeing how long it takes them to build these things, too. They've got a lot of components in them, which means it takes a little while to bring the stuff over, but we'll see how it goes. Slow down time again when we take a look. Oh, sheep! Perfect! This was something I was actually looking forward to. Now, from sheep, I believe we can actually get wool and mutton. Sheep are a really interesting one. Just like chickens can get you eggs and chicken meat, whereas cows only give you meat. I don't think you can get milk from them. These guys, again, don't want to trade for our food, which is fine, because we only need a couple sheep, and we can breed them and have our population grow from there. So what we're going to do is, I think we're going to trade all 40 of these coats, which will give us 1 sheep, and we're going to trade a bunch of these tools, which will give us 2 sheep. So let's trade him 50? No, I need more than that. Hang on, how many? Oh, it's because I didn't tell them to buy 2 sheep, that's why. There we go. So I want like 75 sheep. There we go. 75 tools. So this will give us only 2 sheep, but 2 sheep should be enough to grow our own stock here. So we're going to trade him for 2 sheep. Might trade him for more later. In the meantime, though, we're going to take the venison out of our inventory because apparently we don't need it here because they don't use it. And we're going to take the herbs out of our inventory as well. Since people don't seem to want to let us trade them, it doesn't do us much good to actually have them in there. We're going to bring some more coats and tools back over so we can hopefully trade for some other things in the future. I'm not too worried about it at the moment. We've got a good amount of ale coming in too, which is good. Our alcohol stores are increasing. And we need to set up somewhere for these sheep to live. Oh, you can set up orders for animals. Oh, I see. Lashona is a place that brings animals. The other ones are places that bring seeds. Okay, that explains why we couldn't custom order them. But that also explains why these guys have nothing but animals options. Okay, good to know. You guys have probably already explained this to me in the comments of the previous episode, but I haven't been able to look at those yet, so that's what we got. That'll be good. We got some pair of sheep in here. Hopefully we'll be able to get them a nice farming location. I think we're going to put our animals over on this side for now. So we're going to set ourselves up a pasture, which is a food location. Pasture. I'm going to set up a fairly large pasture, probably. You can make pastures enormous, and the size of the pasture just determines how many animals could be in it. I think we're going to make this one 15 by 10, maybe? Now it's up to 20. That's unfortunate. Make them long and thin. 10 by 10 pasture seems a little bit small, but it might be worthwhile for now since we don't really have a lot of them in the first place. Once they grow, we can add additional pastures and split the population between them, but for now we'll at least be able to get some sheep. Give the sheep somewhere to live. Wow, 95% yield on that crop. That's amazingly good. That's awesome. Alright, I could probably start harvesting that now. No reason to leave it go any longer. Alright, so let's speed this up a little bit, make sure we actually get that thing constructed. We have a lot of construction projects underway right now, though, which is a bit concerning. One thing I'm also going to want to do, we're very low on wood. I'm going to prioritize a bunch of wood to be chopped down, otherwise we are going to run out come winter. So, let's set some prioritizations here. Prioritize wood chopping, not the iron, just the wood. There we go, and some more wood, that'll do. And let's go get some other different wood. Where was the other more different wood? Over here we had a bunch of more different wood. There we go. Prioritize wood, because we need wood right now from our laborers, and we don't have a whole lot of them, so we're not going to get a lot quickly. But without getting more wood, we're going to be in trouble come winter, because we just do not have the wood stores to deal with our firewood problems and our new constructions. So we're going to make sure we get a lot of people working on that. Now, I'm not convinced either that these foresters' huts have actually done us much good at all. Let's come in and take a look and see if we've got any. It's like 98 logs is not a reasonable income of logs. We need way more than that to be able to really keep up with our production. So, speed this back up to 5 times. Hopefully that'll deal with our wood problem. We'll be able to keep building here. Now, if we take a look at these buildings, they're still waiting for logs, most of them. That one's getting stone, but for the most part, they're not really at the level of completion that I'd hoped for there. Now, the wheat really finished quickly, too. Since it was at 100% yield in the middle of summer, you get it really quickly, which is nice. We have a lot of children being born again. Our food stores are looking pretty stable, especially since we have the income of these farms at the end of the year to bump them back up again. But, yeah, I'll have to wait and see how this goes. I'm fairly interested to see if we can get any good resources from here as well, because with wool, we can do a great thing with our tailor. We can swap from making just warm hide coats into making warm coats, which combine leather and wool. And that will be really nice, because that'll give us much better temperature control over our people as well, which should also help reduce the amount of firewood they need, which would be great. And these guys have already started harvesting the squash, which is nice. Very good. Very good. I like it. We have a lot of construction going on, though. A lot of people trying to do various jobs at the same time. This is one of those places where micromanaging would be much more efficient, because since I have so much stuff that's happening simultaneously, it's more like there's a lot of things that just aren't getting done. Whereas if I build them one at a time, I can build a lot quicker in the same number of, well, like get a lot more done in the same number of years. So these houses would probably already be done if I was building them one at a time and building them more efficiently. But I'm not too worried about that right now. We'll just keep working our way forwards here and see what gets done. I'm also interested in getting this pasture finished, but again, this is another task that's splitting up people's productivity, which really slows down how fast things actually get accomplished. And the game paused again. I don't know why it keeps doing this. Stop it. It's never happened before, but in the last 2 recordings, it's paused itself partway through. And that kind of baffles me. I don't understand why it's happening. Either way, we're starting to pick up more of this wood, which is good. That'll help deal with our shortages. And these new trees will grow up in their place, because I don't think I've actually told those to be cut down. No. The young trees are the new plantings, I think. Oh no, they did cut that little one down. Oh well. I'm not too worried. Not too worried about cutting down young trees at all. We do have a pretty good hefty supply of food, which is awesome. And now that we've gotten most of our harvest from our wheat, I want to come over here and double check how much we got. Only about 700 wheat from that, but that's not bad for only 3 people. We were getting about 1,000 with a bigger farm by a significant amount. So that's pretty good, and considering we got it all pretty easily, I'm not too worried. What we're going to do here is we're going to switch our berry ale over to wheat ale and see if that works better for us. Hopefully we'll be able to produce more that way. We don't have to worry about a resource that is fairly inconsistent in the way it actually grows. We're getting very late into the year though, and we do not have much firewood. This could be a very, very cold year. Hopefully our people are able to deal with this crisis, but our temperature crisis might be a very real problem very shortly. Also, these sheep are still stuck in this temporary pasture. We need to get them in their real pasture quickly, and we may not have the opportunity to easily give them replace them if they die from the cold as our first winter. We'll have to see what happens here as we go forwards, but this could be problematic. This could be problematic, and for some reason they still haven't finished even one of these houses. Of course, that's what I was just saying, a prioritization problem on my part, but still, that's really slow. With 12 builders, you'd think they'd be able to get this stuff done a bit quicker, but no, apparently not. Oh well. Eventually, like how fast they use the tools in the 5x speed mode. If we slow it down, though, it's a lot more reasonable. There we go. We might actually get our pasture finished fairly quickly. It only takes one worker here to actually run this thing, which is really nice. And then we'll be able to, hopefully, get our sheep population a-growing. Come on now. A little bit more. There we go. And work it. Stick. Sheep. There we go. Now someone should bring our sheep over. Why are you question marked? Oh, we've hit our food cap again. Wow. Alright, I'm okay with this. Let's put the food cap up to 10,000. That's amazing. Hitting our food cap like that means we can afford to grow easily again. So, we're going to make sure we do that. Absolutely going to make sure we do that. Let's just close this. And we're going to cycle our crops again. I don't know if this makes any difference at all, but I feel like it should. Growing different kinds of things in the soil should theoretically mean that you don't have the same kind of... there go our little sheepies. Shouldn't have the same kind of, wasting of the soil. Either that, or we can just set up a bunch of farms and then move things around without having to worry about having them get overused. Oh, we're starting to build a stone home, finally. There we go, we got one. Fantastic. I'm interested in seeing if these are actually better or not. They look kind of similar to the wooden houses, but I guess that's just because the chimneys are the same. Interesting. We'll have to experiment with that later. See if they actually use more firewood or whatnot, or if changing them to stone homes is better for us and all that kind of stuff. For now, though, are we going to get one sheep in here now? No, we got two. Why is there only one? Oh, no, he's hiding in there. Okay, that's fair. So these guys should gradually reproduce, and we should get wool and meat from them eventually. But for now, this will do just fine. And we're getting more of our stone homes built. Good. We're finally getting some of these things we wanted to do underway, which is perfect. Also, since we have so much food, how's our market doing? Our market's getting close to capacity, actually. We're going to probably want to start switching up and building some more storage units soon. Wow. Well, I guess we'll just have to see. If we're building a bunch of new homes, that should bite into our food stockpile again. Haha. And that should help us deal with that issue. Overall, though, this is looking pretty stable, surprisingly enough. I was worried there that we were going to have a little bit of a catastrophe with our low logs, but we're looking pretty solid. We'll see what happens as well when we get our new homes built. We start trying to upgrade some of these ones. I think that's going to be one of our next tasks, trying to upgrade a bunch of these homes into stone homes, just to see how it actually works. We're probably going to be doing about 2 at a time with our massive workforce of builders, but that should still get the job done. Actually, okay. Come the nice weather again, these actually look kind of nice. Not quite as homey as the wooden homes, honestly, but they do look a little bit more high-tech, a little bit more sturdy. Same number... Oh no, are they bigger? Are they actually bigger? No, they're the same size. Okay. For a second there, I thought they had more capacity in them, so you could have bigger families in the same house, but I don't think that's actually true. Huh. Interesting. Well, we've made it back to spring yet again, so things are going pretty well here for our little population. We got ourselves some sheep now. He was just raking a sheep. That's the thing that definitely happens in real life. And, oh, hang on one second. Sorry about that. Alright, so we've got our buildings underway here. They should just about be finished soon, which will be nice. Got our new year underway, which is also good. Thankfully, people shouldn't be freezing too much anymore, and we should have a good amount of wood coming in from all of our other gatherers. So overall, things here should be looking pretty solid, and our woodcutters should be able to deal with this massive influx of wood to help us overcome this. But I think, like I said, the thing we're going to prioritize first now is to start replacing some of these old houses and swapping them for stone ones, and seeing if upgrading our town... Actually, look at that, that's nice. It looks much better when there's a street of them. Are they working this farm yet? Oh, yeah, they're working it very slowly. The seeds are in the ground there. We can see them teeny-weeny little little squashes. But yeah, we're going to try and swap over some of these houses because we've got a lot of stone, and I think that'll help us deal with our wood problems, because that way we won't constantly need so much in fuel. So I'm going to do a couple experiments here. We're going to start by doing... Let's see, we're going to have one with a replace, or two with a replace. There we go. And we're going to remove two of them and see if that works better. So we do remove structures on these two houses. Oh, be very careful about how we size this thing. There we go. Is that the same? I don't know. But we'll see what happens, because this is something I want to test. Is it better to tell it to upgrade, or to demolish and then build a new one in its place? We'll see which one they accomplish first. And we've also got our boarding house over here to help accommodate while we switch people over. They're not going to be the happiest to live there, of course, but it'll keep them alive at the very least, which is the important thing. So, that'll be good. People in there are cold for some reason. We have plenty of firewood. I guess the building just doesn't have any. Yeah. Hopefully we'll bring some more over there. Now, I don't know if this thing burns through firewood super fast because it has more people in it, but that would be an interesting thing to test as well. Also, it's unfortunately only made of wood. No, it's made of stone. Okay, it's made of stone. That's good. That should be good, good fuel efficiency there. The main thing I'm interested in checking right now, though, is the rate of this going on. So we still have the maximum number of builders to deal with this properly, and we'll see what happens. That should be just fine. Our crops are growing nicely. Our sheep look quite happy in there. It'll probably take a long time for our sheep farm to really be efficient, because we only started with 2 sheep, which I believe is probably the minimum you could probably do it with. I've never tried getting less than like 6 in one go, so it'll be an interesting experiment here. But we'll have to see. Also, our food has dropped quite drastically. Oh no. Influenza outbreak has occurred. You are the plague bearer. 23-year-old student with the plague. Influenza. Well, this is our first catastrophe, really. Alright, well then. In that case, hopefully our herb stockpile will be enough to deal with that, because last time I had one of these, I found that worked pretty well. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to build a hospital, and we're going to build it right over here. Because this should... Ooh, come on now. This should allow us to deal with this plague if we need to. Now, hopefully it won't come to that, but we'll see what happens. Either way, we're going to prioritize that building above all else, because we need this thing to make sure nobody else dies. There we go. Probably should have built one of these by now already, but hopefully herbs will be able to deal with this person. Last time I had a sickness, I had yellow fever, and he has maximum health. How are you sick if you have maximum health? Harlan. But yeah, I had influenza, and nobody actually died. Probably just because we had lots of herbs to deal with natural medicine, but overall I found it was pretty harmless. We'll see if it's the same here on hard difficulty, though. We've already have 2 people now with influenza, which is not great. Now let's see what with this person. Can I see you in particular? Do you have influenza? He's visiting the doctor. So you might actually be able to heal yourself just by visiting the doctor, despite the fact that we don't actually have a hospital, by going and getting somebody who has herbs of some kind. That's interesting. I want to keep an eye on it. We have 3 people now with influenza, 5 people with influenza. We might have a lot of deaths in a second. We might have a lot of deaths in a second. We're going to have to wait and see how horrible this winds up being. Our hospital is getting built, but nowhere near fast enough to deal with the current outbreak. Hopefully our herb stockpiles will just be enough. Got a lot of sick people. 7 sick people? Oh boy. Ooh boy. Well, if we can get this thing built, we're already done with the logs, we might be okay. I don't know how long it takes for sick people to start dying either. If we can get an eye on this guy. Oh, a merchant has arrived. Oh, yeah, he still has pretty decent health. Alright, let's come back over here. slow things down a little bit and check what he has to trade with us. Just logs. Just logs. Alright, well I'll buy all your logs, I guess. And I'll sell you some coats. Why not? And some tools. That's way more than we need. Alright, we'll trade you 18 tools, and I'll do it? Nope. 14 tools. Nope, come on now. Whoa, what just happened there? 14 tools. Nope. 15 tools. Nope. I'm so confused. Whatever, that'll do. 17 tools for 66 logs. Trade. Alright. And back to normal. There we go. That'll help deal with our wood problem immediately. But this flu is bad. Influenza. We have 15 people now with the flu. It's down to 14. Nobody died, so that's good. Somebody got cured naturally. 13. Okay, we might be able to beat this thing. 18. Never mind. Alright, this is getting out of hand quite quickly. Let's build that hospital there, guys. Oh, we have somebody died of old age. That's fine. Up to almost 20 people now with the flu. We're dropping, though. That's good. People are getting healthy again, and then unhealthy again, and then healthy again. So we might actually be able to work through our population without anybody dying from this, which would be really nice. I'm going to quickly come over here. Oh, look at all that plague. They've already started harvesting the crops, which is good. I'm uncertain about how well this is going to go for us. We're almost ready to build the actual building here. We might be able to keep anyone from dying from the plague. Come on now. Let's get this thing going here. High priority builders. Let's just up the priority on this again, just to make sure they know it's super important. Because, I mean, I want to get these houses upgraded, but nowhere near as much as I want to make sure nobody dies from the plague. Down to 9 people again, though. Only 9 sick people. That's pretty good. Nobody's died of the plague yet, just of old age. I think our massive herb stockpiles are really doing good for us here. I'm really surprised this hasn't grown more. Oh, we're back up to 11 again. This is really good, though. Our city is handling this influenza outbreak quite nicely. We'll see if we lose anybody, but so far it's looking pretty solid. We have one person who's hungry for no good reason. I'm sure they just haven't gone to get themselves food. That'll change shortly. Alright. Almost done in the hospital. Not that I think we're really going to need it, but this might help us get over this outbreak even quicker. Come on, down to 8 people, 7 people, we might be okay. 6, 5, oh come on now, cure us of this plague naturally. This is definitely too little too late, but looks like we're going to be fine. Wow. Plague, not a problem. Let's just get that hospital working, make sure our sick people can get healthy. The last 2 people have the plague should stay in this location, which should prevent them from spreading the disease to anybody else. Very nice. Alright. I'm liking it. 2 patients, 1 patient. Almost cured. Come on now, influenza. Bother us no longer. And we have the hospital right beside the bar, so they can go get a celebratory drink once they're cured. There we go! Influenza is gone. Fantastic. I'll just leave you in there, you know what? You can stay. Whew, we did it! We have a lot of people dying of old age all of a sudden, but nobody died of the plague at all, which is amazing. That could have been really bad. When it started to grow out of hand there, and we got like 20 people with the plague, I was a bit worried, but thankfully it didn't wind up being anything serious. I'm a little bit concerned, though, that these guys are just not replacing these buildings. Builders, you have literally one job to do. Come and do it. Let's see if they do the demolishing first or the upgrading, but either way, not super impressed. Maybe people have to come take all the stuff out of them first? Seems unlikely to me, though. And it's winter again with very little firewood, but We'll have to wait and see. Our population keeps growing here, but for some reason they're not taking out these buildings, despite what I tell them. I don't like it. People are getting cold, but they should be okay. We have a good amount of food still, although I could do with more. Oh, somebody just froze to death. Why did that happen? Why did you freeze to death, JV? We have plenty of firewood. You can bring it to your home, no problem. Where was JV from? I don't know. That's unfortunate. Nobody died from the plague. People did die of cold when we had firewood. I don't like that, not one bit. Alright, we're going to put down another woodcutters here just to make sure we can actually get firewood, because apparently we don't get it quickly enough anymore. Another woodcutter, you're going to go into place right here. There we go. And that way we should be able to deal with the increased demand pretty safely. And let's see if they actually build that before they do anything with any of these houses. If they do, I'll be quite annoyed with them all. What we're going to do, though, is we're going to increase the priority of all of these buildings at the same time. There we go. So if they do one of them, they should come and do all of them. Either way, though, this might be something we have to come back and do later. I'm very confused as to why it's happening, though. Either way, we're going to check the time on the video, because I think we're done now, and we'll see. As I suspected, we are out of time for this episode. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. This has been Vanguard of Valor, playing some more Banished here with Xanadu. We overcame the plague, but now we have other problems, namely firewood lack. But we'll see if we can overcome that as we move forwards. We're also trying to upgrade our houses to stone, but we'll see how that goes in the future too. For now, though, thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again next time. Until then, bye-bye.